Hey, it's Tara here from Empowering Motherhood, and welcome to this webinar on reclaiming your sparkle. So what I mean by that is I just talk to so many people, so many women who feel like they've lost a piece of themselves or completely lost themselves after a number of years of being pregnant or trying to get pregnant, having babies, having children, and getting into that thing of being busy, holding lots of balls in the air, feeling stretched in too many directions. And often what I hear them saying is that they're stretched in so many directions that they don't feel like they're doing anything well. Something's falling short here, there, and everywhere, and then they never get to them. They're on the bottom of the list, and they never actually get to the point where they themselves as a priority never gets to the top of the list. And I call this the modern woman's suffering matrix. It's like we're stuck in this world where we can't get ahead, we can't get enough rest, we can't get any time, we can't get any space, and there just doesn't seem to be another way to do it except to work harder, keep grinding, keep burning ourselves out. And even just a couple of days ago, I went to the beach with a really good friend of mine, and she was telling me how, I helped her last year, chatted with her just as a friend, when her whole body just froze up, and it was really the mental state of going so hard, so fast for so long, and grinding all the way with the kids, with work, with everything else. And even self-care becomes a bit of a job on the to-do list, a bit of a chore. So got to get my nails done, got to go for a massage, rush to a massage, have to organize kids, have a massage, feel great at that time, come home, house crazy, and then immediately, it can sort of wash off. And, so even looking after ourselves is a chore. So as I said, I call this the modern woman's matrix of suffering. And the reason why I call it that is because it is literally a set of ideals and ideas and expectations that we're stuck in, that we can't actually see a way out, and we can't actually see another way of doing things, and that there is another way of doing things. And I've worked with a lot of clients now and helped them to turn this on its head, so that instead of putting energy out and depleting yourself all the time, that what you do in your life nourishes you and energizes you, so then you've got this energy coming to you all the time rather than depleting from you. So it really is reversing the flow of energy. So another way to look at that is maybe you feel like you've got a hole in your bucket, and no matter how much sleep you get or how much self-care you do, no matter how you try to move things around, you're still feeling exhausted. And it really literally is a leak in your energy system. It's a leak in the bucket. And we want to not just plug those holes, but also create a whole new framework or bucket, a whole new way of being that actually nourishes us as well as everybody else. So I've also described it like we put ourselves outside the pack, and from outside the pack we're trying to micromanage all these different aspects of our life, and we're scared to drop any balls because we know something will smash, something will fall apart, something will explode or implode, whether it's our health, our relationship, doing the right thing by our kids, our career, whatever it is. Okay, so we're trying to manage the pack from outside of the pack, micromanaging back here. It's like being the event manager, and you never actually get to sit at the table and enjoy the function and enjoy the beautiful event, which is your life. So we want to bring ourselves back into the pack so that our lifestyle nourishes us as well as everybody else. It's a way of being rather than what you're doing. And it really is switching around from what you do as your identity. And I know a lot of you can relate to this, that that's the third chakra. It's the identities and the roles that we play, and how much expectation we hold on ourselves there, and how much we live through that. I did do a video on a Facebook Live on that last year, and it's been the most popular video so far. People go, oh yeah, that's me. So you're the what one. Who are you? You're the one that gets shit done. You're the busy one that people know will get stuff done. You're the tired one. You're, the super mum. You're the whatever it is. You're the one that's good with money. You're the one that's bad with money. You're the great mum. You're whatever expectations and identities and roles you're holding onto and playing in your life. And we tend to gather them, and they actually suck our energy and they're exhausting. So we want to shift out of this, modern woman suffering matrix and actually break it down. When we stop buying into that idea that our identity is wrapped in what we do. Yeah, so I'll say that again, that our identity, our worthiness, our contribution is only wrapped up in what we do, which is a falsehood. Okay? When we start to let that break down and not believe in that anymore and say, well, what's another way to do this? And we start to look at our beingness and holding the space for ourselves and our family. And you can see it's like layers of an onion with yourself in the middle, your close family, your extended family, friends, colleagues, your community. And as that expands out, that energy that you put out, that you hold for you, which ultimately you're holding for yourself. So then the priority becomes actually, what energy do you want to be holding for yourself, and what energy do you want to be holding for your family, your friends, your community, your health, your money, your career. It continues on, and we call this our tribe. Yeah, the people that are in our life. So we want to switch it around so that we're not feeling depleted, but we're feeling energized. So I just want to show you something. So basically what that comes down to is managing your energy rather than your time. And time is an illusion. And we know it's an illusion because when we're feeling really happy, we let go of time. When we're really present and we're really in a really good space within ourselves and those around us, time becomes quite irrelevant. Yeah. And when we give ourselves more space, we automatically get more time. Okay. Because the present moment is the only moment that actually exists. We're not feeling any time when we're stuck looking forward or looking backward. Okay. So the more present we are, the more space we feel and the more time we feel we have. And then we start becoming like a filter to say what we do and don't want in our life. And not only is it easier to say no to things, it's also easier to let the right things in. And then you start letting go of the things that are depleting and really bringing in more things for you and your family that are energizing. Okay, so we really want to flip it all on its head so that we can have a whole different way of doing this. So I want to talk about the modern woman's suffering matrix, because what you've got is 3 elements that are feeding into themselves. So the first element that's feeding into itself is the depletion and exhaustion. Okay, so the depletion and exhaustion is always feeling tired, perhaps feeling depressed, no motivation, and just completely fucking over it, a lot, or all of the time. Okay, so that's the exhaustion side of it. It's a constant depletion, a low energy. The next thing that's feeding it into is that state of anxiety, the endless to-do list, feeling agitated, busy all the time, can't sleep, maybe panic attacks. Many of my clients that come and do the Thrive program are exhausted and having panic attacks because the anxiety tends to take its role in covering up the exhaustion. So you might be snappy with anxiety, snappy at the kids, rushing everywhere. I've been, we all come in and out of this, but the problem is when we're stuck in it. So I have those days where you're like, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car, eat your dinner, get to bed, and you're all going to have days like that. But when we're stuck in that, it's really exhausting and depleting. So what happens with the exhaustion and the anxiety is your you know, some of women end up with adrenal exhaustion, adrenal fatigue, because the adrenaline is going overtime to stop. It's your way of stopping yourself going into the exhaustion and collapsing. Okay, but it's still exhausting you more and more, and eventually that'll run out and it will come into a collapse. That's the extreme. And I do see a lot of women, you know, either heading that way and they know they're heading that way, you know, or already hit that place. Okay, but the good news is there is a solution. It's actually quite a simple solution, and I'm going to share the missing links with you after I go through this. Okay, so you have your the exhaustion and the anxiety, and they start feeding each other. The more exhausted you come, the more adrenaline you're pushing out to cope and be awake and get up and watch the kids and cook them dinner and, you know, keep them alive, as one of my clients said. Just my whole life is about keeping the kids alive. And that anxiety state, or that feeling agitated, stressed, just go, just because you know that's exhausting even more and depleting you even more. Okay, so they're feeding each other until at some stage it implodes, explodes, collapses, whatever it's going to do. And I know that a lot of you listening to this, you know, your gut feeling, you're resonating with this, and you know, I'm heading that direction. And I often say to women, if you keep on the path that you're on, what is that going to look like in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years time? You know, what is that going to look like? And often women will say to me, a relationship breakup, won't be able to go to work anymore. Just the children's childhood just gone by and you've missed it because you've spent the whole time being in this state and not enjoying it, not being present, and not enjoying this stage of your life and enjoying the kids while they're young. And believe me, they grow up really quickly when you're in that state. Yeah, so my youngest is 6, my oldest is about to turn 20, and, you know, she's moving to Canberra for uni 2019, and the little one's starting year 1. So I've got both ends of the extreme right now and the other 4 in between. So really, when you're not present, you're not enjoying it, and it does go by quickly, even though at the time it feels like it's never ending. You know, there's that weird thing that again shows us that time is relative to our state of being. Yeah, it's not really a real thing. It's relative to our state of being. So that's the 2 parts of the modern woman's suffering matrix. The third part that's holding us there is the feeling a sense of belonging and worthiness and contribution is missing, where we feel like we've got to constantly be showing up, doing, and overstretching ourselves to be valued. You know, when we know that the mental load is huge as a mother, that the emotional load of holding emotionally and spiritually holding the space for everyone is huge. But yet that comes back to our identities and our worthiness, the identity is in the 3rd chakra, the worthiness is in the base chakra. Our wanting to feel like a valued contributor to society, but marking that and judging that only by what we do, not how we be. Okay, so that energy of feeling overstretched, feeling unsupported, feeling like you've got to prove yourself all the time as a valued contributor. And unfortunately, you know, the patriarchal setup of society really does, you know, we need to override that, because that does, in my opinion, reinforce this. Like, you only get this many weeks off work when you have a baby, you only get paid this much, you'll get daycare if you do this and if you do that, and it's all very controlled. Yeah, so we feel like we've got to do and prove ourselves and fill out the right paperwork to be seen and heard and be valued as all that we do as a mother, which is what I call it, the motherfucker of all jobs. Yeah, it's the mother of all jobs. It's huge. So that sits in the base chakra, it sits in the pelvic floor. So for a lot of women who have pelvic floor issues, whether it's incontinence, you know, rushing to the toilet, whether it's you feeling a heaviness or maybe even having a prolapse, yeah, that energy of feeling overburdened or overstretched and undervalued and not really well supported by your community or your tribe, or not allowing the support because we're stuck in the identity of doing for others. Okay, so often I see with my clients, support is there if they move out of the energy of feeling like their only value in is what is their output, not their input. Yeah. So once we start allowing support and not seeing that as a failure, not seeing us as not being independent, not standing on our own 2 feet, all of that stuff, and we're never supposed to do it on our own. We were never supposed to do motherhood on our own. It's supposed to be community and collective. Yeah, and you look into any traditional society, it's the women are a collective. And that is what I'm about, helping bring that energy back in of support. And we have a number of things. Some of you already come to some of the stuff that we do. But one of the keys to changing your whole life is to change that energy around and your beliefs around allowing support into your life and the give and take, you know. And the way I see the base chakra when I do energy healing is like a trampoline. It's this weaving of all the different aspects of life and all the different people in your life, and together they make this beautiful, strong, bouncy, fun, supportive environment. And each person's single strand is so worthy, like one hole in a trampoline and it starts to become weak. Yeah, and one piece of string on its own, it's just a piece of string, right? It's not really particularly anything until you make it into something. But as we weave all of our threads together, our stories, our lives, we start to get this real strength. And I always come up with the idea of a trampoline. It just feels like it's strong, it's bouncy, it's fun, and it's energizing. As you press down, it bounces you back up bigger and better. Yeah. And that's what we want in our life, that as we do rest into the sisterhood, as we do rest into ourselves, as we do put out to our friends and family and work and relationship, that it bounces us back up. It gives us more energy. Okay, so these 3 things are feeding each other. You have the exhaustion, the anxiety, and the pelvic floor, or the worthiness that's stuck in the doing. The more we do that, the more exhausted, the more we stick the turn the, what do you call it, like put the accelerator on the stress hormones to keep going, and eventually one or two or all of these things is going to, as I said, crash or explode or implode or just, you know. And that's, I know a lot of women are feeling like they're heading in that direction, but you've got so many balls in the air. How do you stop and recalibrate? Okay, and the good news is, as I said, is it actually a pretty simple solution to this. It's quick and easy, but it takes support. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. So that's our modern women's suffering matrix. So the question is, how do we become, what do we really want? What do we really want? We want to feel whole. We want to feel happy. We want to feel seen. We want to feel valued. We want to feel energized. We want to get out of bed happy for our day. Yeah? What else do you want to feel? Think about it. You maybe write a couple of notes. Like, how do you actually want to feel in your day-to-day life? You know, you want to feel sexy. You want to feel energized. You want to feel valued. You want to feel seen, heard, listened to. You want to have a voice. We want to feel ultimately whole and connected and joy in our life. Yeah. And actually I put a post on Facebook just after Christmas saying, you know, post a recent photo that you want a lot, that is what you want in your life this year. And nearly there was a real theme that came through of photos, mostly of people at the beach, near some water, definitely in nature, with their family. And almost everybody said they want more of this, please, universe. They want more time in nature, feeling connected, because we feel whole, we feel present, we feel connected, we feel seen. We're very, by being connected with ourselves, we feel really connected with others. And so we do feel the love and joy and appreciation for life and the wonder of how amazing life is, and especially nature and being there with the family. So just take a moment now and write down, what do you truly want in your life this year? What's the number one thing? So you might write a few notes and then look at what the theme is there, or what is the number one thing or the first thing that comes to you. What do you truly want in your life this year? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? You know, what do you want to manifest? What do you want to create in your life this year? So just take a moment to write that down. You can pause this and come back to it if you need to. So the question is, how the fuck do we turn it all around? Okay, how do we turn it all around? What are we really looking at? So the whole woman's manifesto to happiness, I call it, is we want energy. We want our routines, our rhythms, our habits to feed your vision, to feed that which you do want in your life. So at the moment, you'll probably find that a lot of your routines and rhythms, and if there's any rhythm, and your daily habits are actually feeding into that exhaustion and depletion, okay? Or feeding into the anxiety, or feeding into the feeling of overstretched and unsupported. Okay, so we want our routines and our rhythms and our habits to energize us and to feed that which we do want, that which we do want to be creating in our life. So we need to turn that around. The second thing that we want is to feel purpose. We want to feel like we've got a purpose. We want to feel that inspiration in our daily life. Okay, so the purpose is having a really clear vision that excites you for you and your family and your life. And again, this is all aspects of your life. So you might start working with little bits of your life, but then you're segmenting your life and you're still going to have this huge fucking to-do list. We need to bring it all together. And that is one of the things that we do in the Thrive program, is really say, what's working, what's not working, what do we want in our life, and really bring it together. So we're not stuck in this busyness and this endless to-do list. Yeah? And a part of that as well is allowing space to create, allowing space for the unexpected, the unknown, allowing space to enjoy that which you have created, that which you do enjoy. So if your time is scheduled up like within an inch of its life, and if something goes astray, the whole fucking thing falls apart and it's a disaster, you're always going to be stressed and not present and not enjoying what you're doing and be feeling depleted. You need to create space in your life. And one of the ways that we do that in the Thrive program is really starting to learn to work with the cycles of the moon, which traditionally women all worked with the cycles of the moon naturally. And the dark moon, when there's no moon in the sky, is a time where women would traditionally rest, and most women would get their period pre-electricity. Yeah, so pre-electricity, pre the pill, pre all that stuff, women would rest when they had their period, and they would generally ovulate with the full moon and have their period with the dark moon, ready for the new moon, which is like spring, new beginnings. So as we start to work with the moon cycles, and this is the missing link I was talking about, we know if our day and night and our sleep time and wake time is out of rhythm, that we're exhausted or anxious or drinking too much coffee to stay alive or drinking wine to unwind every day or whatever it is. Okay, and we know in summer and winter and autumn and spring, like last year, you know, the summer dragged on and on and on, and everyone was quite exhausted and just ready for autumn, late April. And we need that rhythm. So by the end of the summer, we're ready for autumn. By the end of winter, we're dying for spring to come back up. Yeah, so we need that ebb and flow of turning out, turning inward, being energized, being re-energized. Yeah, the missing link is the moon cycle, and let me tell you, The moon cycle has just as much effect on you as the day and the night and the seasons. But we've disconnected from it, and it's our that is the energy of the women's, the collective communal energy of women that we're missing. Okay, so working with a moon cycle will really help. That is the missing link that you need to learn to integrate into your life. And the other one is flow. So being able to flow in and out of these things, and being in flow, you might hear people talking about, it's really about being completely present and in the now and in control of your energy. So you might have heard me say before, manage your energy, not your time. How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? And do the things that are going to create that. So having a really clear vision, a really good rhythm in your life, and really looking at your habits, your subconscious habits, your mental habits, the way you think, the way you feel, what you do, and really start, spring cleaning all the shit that you don't need anymore. Yeah. And so the Thrive program, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about at the end, we actually start with a massive spring clean energetically, with an energy healing. And then we move in to clearing the slate and creating a new vision, and then recreating all our habits and our rhythms and our routines on all levels to support that which we want. And it shifts your whole life around really fucking quickly. So that's why I love it so much. And it's what I did to get myself out of this place. So if you don't know already, and I never know how people miss this, I've got 6 children. My husband works in the film industry, so I never know when he's home or when he's not home. And, I got myself into that place of just all my identity was stuck in what I did for the kids and what, home cooking everything and all that stuff. And until I got Bell's palsy, where one side of my face went, I was like, fucking not going to live with this. And as I worked my way out of that, I realized all of this stuff for myself and went on my own journey, and I've shortcutted it for you into like a 6-week program. Okay. Well, a 4-week program actually, with an energy healing on either side. So I've taken what worked and put it together for you. So part of that energy, having more energy and the energy that you want, the flow in life, and feeling like you've really got a purpose, is when you bring all that together, that is it all feeds itself, just like the other one. The suffering matrix feeds itself in a downward spiral. This feeds itself in an upward spiral. Okay, so imagine every month when you get your period, that you feel re-energized instead of drained. And that will happen, and no one ever believes me it's going to happen, but it does happen. And most women, after observing their moon cycles for a short amount of time, they start getting their period with the dark moon. Probably 80-90% of the women. I had a client recently, and she knows who she is if she's watching this, who, when I said that to her, she thought, I like Tara, but there's no way. I've had the same period on the same time of the month for 25 years, and then 2 months later, bang, it shifted. And she said to me, oh my God, I can't believe it, because she thought, nah, you don't know anything, you don't know what you're talking about. So that was pretty funny. Okay, so my question for you is, are you ready to move out of survival mode and into thriving in your life? And that's why my program is called Thrive. Okay, so are you ready to move out of survival, where you're in a women's suffering matrix, where you're doing all the time and your whole identity is in what you do? You're exhausted, but and feeling yourself getting depleted, your body's naturally covering that up with that adrenaline and anxiety. So you know that if you stop, it's all going to fall apart if it hasn't already. My question is, if you stay on that road for the next 6 months, year, 5 years, 10 years, where the hell are you going to end up? What is going to be the thing that breaks? And most of most of the women I speak to, when I ask them that question, they know the thing that's going to break. And they will say, my relationship's going to break. I won't be able to, my career is going to break. I won't be able to bring in money. my children are their childhood's going to pass me by and I've not enjoyed it. They're the typical things that women say to me. Yeah. They're stuck in stress mode, or they're stuck in exhaustion, or they're just stuck in their whole identity is wrapped up in what they put out for others. Yeah. Or do you want to move across into the whole woman, feeling whole, feeling bliss, feeling joy, feeling connected, feeling love and gratitude and appreciation as an everyday thing. Yep, and in that, remember, we're going to move into the flow. We're going to move into creating amazing things in our life for us and our family. We're going to move into our rhythms and ritual, a new vision, and our rhythms and rituals and habits are going to support that vision rather than supporting the depletion. Okay, so with that, one of the key things there is learning to work with the moon cycles, and what the key thing under that is balancing the doing with the being. If you're stuck in doing, you're not allowing space in your life. If there's no space in your life, you're never going to feel present. You're always going to feel in a rush or like there's more to do. Okay, so we really want to like pull our life apart, recreate a new vision of that which we want, and start creating the habits and rhythms and routines and rituals. Rituals are really important too. So you would already have some rituals in your life. Some are working, some are not working so much, because they really ground you when you get them just right. They bring you back to yourself and give you time and space to recalibrate. And we actually need to recalibrate on a regular basis. Yeah. And my clients that have done the Thrive program, and then we have after that, we have the monthly new moon gathering where we do the recalibration every month. And it's exciting and fun, and we come together and people travel to come to that and make that real effort to come to that, because it's just got such an amazing impact on everybody's life. Okay, so if this resonates with you, if you're interested in this, our next course starts in February the 4th. I will put the other dates up on my website as they come along. So if you're listening to this after February the 4th, please check the website for the dates. But more importantly, if this resonates with you, if you have a few questions, you want to find out if this is right for you, let's have a conversation. So there'll be a link under this video for you to make a time for us to have a conversation, and you know, and just see what's going on with your life, what's going on in your life, and how help you work out what it is that you need. Yeah, and then just, you know, have a short, easy conversation to see if this is right for you. I would love you to join us. I'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I really appreciate it, and you should really appreciate yourself for that. You know, a lot of gratitude for giving yourself this time and space to decide, okay, I think I need to do something differently. And as I said, the good news is there's a really easy solution out there, which is what the Thrive program is offering to you. Okay, so blessings and love to you. I hope you have an amazing day. Please write down what it is that you want to create in your life, and that is the absolute first step. And use the link to make a time to have a conversation and see if this is going to be right for you. All right, have a beautiful day.